Hello everybody! Welcome back to another episode of KuzilCraft. This is episode 21. We're going to get into some bee breeding, but I also want to show you how to make... okay, so I don't know if you remember several episodes ago I showed you a spreadsheet that I had made of all the different kinds of bees. There's the bees that you get from nests, and we now have all of those. Let me show you something here real quick before we get into the breeding and feeding. In here, I had a spruce nest, a dark oak nest, and a dirt nest. And the spruce nest produced for us the resin bee, so I took that down. The dark oak nest produced for us the blue banded bee. Now, every time the bee goes into the nest, there's a chance that it becomes a neon cuckoo bee. So there are two different kinds of bees that do that. There's the neon cuckoo bee and the nomad bee. Now, the nomad bee, if you look in here and say nomad bee, if you left click on it, it says this bee will lay its eggs in nests belonging to the ashy mining bee. Well, the other nest I had here was a dirt nest, and it was an ashy mining bee. It never turned into a nomad bee. So I decided I was going to go over to the desert here. And just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to teleport over here just to show you. I don't normally do this. But I want to show you this real quick. Over here, I had 5 different sand nests in the desert. As you can see over here underneath the mini map, it says desert. I did not plant these here, but you could certainly make 5 or 6 different kind of sand nests. This one here had an ashy mining bee in it. I had one over here that had an ashy mining bee in it, and this one eventually turned into a nomad bee. I had one over here somewhere. Down there was another one. There was another one over there. I don't know if you can see it. Right to the left and up of my crosshair, right there. And there was another one right there. So within the small area, I found 5. And I found them by coming over here during the day. And the bees popped out and started flying around. And I was like, okay, well, I have 2. And then there was another one. It's like, oh, I have 3. And then there was 4. And then there was 5. And I was like, okay, I have a lot here. Well, eventually, one of those ashy mining bees turned into a nomad bee. I scooped it up and went back home. So that is how I got the nomad bee. I would recommend doing something similar. I don't know if I've always caught the nomad bee in the desert, but that method worked for me. So, excuse me. So I'm going to recommend that to you. Okay, one of the bees that we said we wanted right away was the Prospera bee. Now there's a list of bees that are converted by feeding them something. We did that in the last episode when we fed a normal bee a block of TNT, and it became the Cree bee. Now we needed the Cree bee in order to make our uraninite bee. So if we come in here, we can look at the Cree bee is right here. Now I'm not sure that the Cree bee produces anything. If we do right click on here, yeah, it certainly does. It'll produce a powdery comb, which can then be converted into gunpowder, which is awesome. So we'll definitely use that. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to do was get a prosperity block, and to get a Prospera bee, we need to get a crystalline bee, which is I went and found one. I took my quartz nest here and went to the nether and fed it several different treats, waited a couple minutes, got my crystalline bee, and now we're going to feed it this prosperity block. So I'll come over here and do that. And now it's a Prospera bee. So let me grab my cages here and scoop him up. Now if you wanted 5 of these, right, so you're wanting to make a full beehive of Prospera bees, then you have to get 5 crystalline bees. You have to get 5 prosperity blocks and feed them that way. Now, the other thing that you also have to do, is you have to make a block of prosperity shards. for the food for this thing. So let's come back here. I want to start making a list of bees here. So how do I want to organize this? There's technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically 5 levels, but there's only one 5th level, 2 4th levels. So if I do, let's see, all the tier 1s here, or maybe I can do, I haven't figured out how I want to organize this. It really doesn't matter. But I can do all the converted bees here. Let's see, how many of those do we have? $16 of them? That's quite a few. It's more than I have here. So I could probably do here. There may not be enough for us to do all the converted. So let's just start on one side and we'll just start filling up the bees with, we'll just start here. We've already started here. So let's go on this side and make ourselves a beehive. We'll do the advanced beehive. And then we'll do the expansion box, of course, just because I do want to get 5 of everything. And we'll do a feeding slab. Actually, do I already have a feeding slab down here? No, good. I was concerned that because there's no use for these anywhere else. So let's see. Let's put that there, and we'll put the beehive there and the expansion box on top, and we'll put our. Oh, we also need. Yes, we need this. There we go. Productive bees. We're gonna get the simulator and 3 upgrades. Good. Now, one of the things I need to do is figure out how I want to, because it's good to get these bees, but it's also good to. Oh, you know what? I gotta put that in there. There we go. It's also good to figure out how we want to move all this stuff. So let's breed up a few bees. Now we did do a couple bees in the last episode. Iron. What do I have here? Iron. I think I did a. Where's the other one? Aluminum bee. All right. So now let's go up a little bit more, and we can work while these bees are being bred. We can work on the applied energistics part of it. So we'll just kind of do those in tandem. We'll do a little bit of bee breeding, and once the bees are all bred, we'll come back and do more. And while the bees are breeding, we'll work on our applied energistics. We'll do that for about maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, and then we'll call it an episode. Come back and do it again. All right, so I do eventually want all of the normal bees, but we definitely want the experience bee. We want that bee to start producing experience for us quickly here. So, which means we're going to need an emerald and a lapis bee. Now, I don't know if you remember in the last episode, I went over how to do that, but I do want to do that with you on camera. So, the first step is going to make a redstone bee. Now, that's going to be a glowing bee and a chocolate mining bee. So, let's go ahead and make 5 of those. So, we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these in here, and we'll do that. Now, these are making flowers. I let this run for a little bit, and with these speed upgrades, this won't take any time at all. We'll get 5 redstone bees real quick. Okay, so while we're doing that, let's tackle applied energistics. So first things first, we need this controller that we've already made, and let's make the cables, because I want to explain to you one of the major differences between applied energistics and refined storage, outside of all of the things we had to do to get applied energistics going. One of those things is the concept of channels. So let's make a smart cable. And a smart cable, oh wow. Let's go back to our base and we'll just do it in there. Because we're going to have to make all these recipes. All right, so a smart cable. Where are they at? Fluix. Is there just a smart cable somewhere? Or do I have to actually click through it? Is it here? Smart cable. Yeah, okay, so we'll just do covered cable. Now a covered cable is just any kind of wool. Do I have wool? How much wool do I have? Yeah. Is this being produced by a chicken? Yes, right? I have already forgotten, because that's good. If it is, that's very, very good. I have a wool chicken. I do. That's fantastic. We're gonna need a lot of wool. We're gonna need a lot of glass, a lot of quartz, and thank God for these chickens, man. These chickens are so nice. All right, so we're gonna make a covered cable. Now we already know how to make the Fluix for the moment, so let's do that. And I also want to make the Fluix bee. So where was I? I added a lot of these here, right? So we'll go there. Now, before we get going too far, let's get this Fluix bee going because I want to get rid of this system here. Now the Fluix bee is going to get a spatial bee, and we have to make a spatial bee that's a crystalline bee and an ender bee. Okay, once the redstone bees are done, that's the next thing we're doing. Because we need to make some spatial bees, and then we need to feed a spatial bee this Fluix pearl. So let's make the recipe for this Fluix pearl. Okay, that's just Fluix dust and crystals. We know how to make those. Okay, what are you doing here? Sir? Where did you come from? Can I get one? Cool. Oh, I have some on me already. Alright. What are you? Another neon cuckoo. Okay, that's weird. I don't know where you're coming from. There's no nests in here. That's okay. We'll hang on to them. Alright. Now, I want to finish making these cables because there's a couple different kinds. The smart cable, so we're going to take this dense cable, or this covered cable that we have, and we're going to use glowstone and redstone, which we have plenty of, and we're going to stick that in there. And then the next step is to make this dense cable. So here. So that's just going to be for the smart cables. That's probably the way we're going to do it. Yeah. I should do it that way. Now, I could set the B, everything in the B to be channel yellow. But it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to connect it to anything. So let's not do that. Okay. The next thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I have these panels because I want to access, oh, yes, I want to access my stuff, but in order to get my stuff, I need to program the drives and all that. So let's get a pattern storage going. And this 64K storage, I think there's a bigger one than that. So item cell, let's do item storage cell. That's just going to be this 1K. So I want to make these here, right? Wow. Okay, so this is just regular quartz. Yeah, I want to do just regular quartz for that. I don't need it to be anything crazy. And then for the next one, it's going to be quartz glass, so we know how to make all of that already. That's fantastic. Okay. That's the 4K. The 16K is going to be that plus glowstone. This is already great. This is making me super happy because it's turning out pretty good. here, here. Cool. Like we have everything we already made. All right, that was the 16, right? Okay. Now the next thing we want is the 64K. And there we go. And then finally, the 256K, which I don't think we need. What is this? Skystone dust? Nah, we're not messing with that. Okay, so then for the 64K item storage cell, I need to make this item cell housing. This is very similar to the refined storage system that 64K here. Those cells that we were making for here, they're not cells, they're disks, right? So we're not even using half of our refined storage cell at the moment. Once I reach more than halfway, I'll probably make another one. So let's see if we can do some crafting. No, let's put some more patterns in here and then we'll go over there and do it. So they have illumination panels, which are really cool. And these illumination panels work like lights. So all of the lights that I have over there, I can replace with these illumination panels, which are really neat. So I want to make this bright one, and that's just going to be a regular illumination panel, like this. Very cool. And then we'll just click on that one more time, and that'll become a bright illumination panel. I wonder how much brighter that is. I think the storage bus is an external storage. I think. So let's do an interface. Oh, we don't know how to make formation chords. Okay. Let's do just regular quartz. That's fine. This is like the destruction and construction systems. All right, so interface, annihilation cores. We already know how to make that. So storage bus, interface. No, that's the formation core, annihilation core. Yeah, construction and destruction. It's a very similar concept. I think refined storage just did what applied energistics did and made it a little bit easier. All right, we'll make our interface. Now this interface works very similar to this interface over here. They're named the same and they work the same similarly. So let's see, I want to make this paneled interface. That's kind of cool. Now I'm putting all these things in here because I know that I'm going to probably want them later, and they're going to be, it's going to be nice just to have the recipes all put in. The next thing that I want is this import bus. That's going to take an annihilation core and a sticky piston. The next thing I'm going to want is the exporter, and that's going to be the formation core with a regular piston. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm making all these here in a minute. We don't want any of those. We don't want any of those. In pattern encoding terminal. Yep. Definitely want one of these. So crafting terminal, regular terminal. Okay, so that's a illumination panel with, yeah, it doesn't matter. Crafting terminal, great. So this is like the crafting grid. And then the encoding terminal is like the pattern grid that I'm looking at right now. The other thing that it has is the storage monitor. No, not that. Conversion monitor, pattern monitor, interface, pattern access terminal, which is really nice. I'll show you how to use that. Pattern provider. Okay. This is just swapped around instead of an interface. What the pattern provider does is something that I wish refined storage does, and maybe it does have it. But let's make a, there we go. I always like the panel versions of everything because they're easy to hide. Like I wish refined storage could make these panels so that I couldn't see the backside of them. Like I wish this could be coverable. Like I could put a cover on top of that. And then the pattern access terminal. Now what this does is it lets me look at all of the things that are, all of the crafting. Oh, energy acceptor? What? Can I connect this to power? Redstone card, capacity card, overflow card, advanced card, acceleration card, inverter, crafting, energy card. Okay. Wireless terminals. I don't think that does what I think it does. Okay, well, that would be cool if I could provide power to blocks. I'll have to look into that. That sounds pretty cool. Well, anyway, I'll look into that later. P2P stuff I'm not going to play with. Not with you guys on camera, but some of these other things I can look at later and let you know if I bring them in. But for now, I want to demonstrate the channels and why channels are something that you have to pay attention to in applied energistics. With refined storage, you don't have to worry about that. Anything that's connected to the network is going to be connected to the network, and it's going to work just fine. Okay, these are all done. So let's put these away. And we have our 5 redstone bees. And they're all different. Look at this. They're all different. Now, coincidentally enough, these 2 leaf cutter bees are exactly the same, but they're different from this one. So yeah. Okay, the Fluix bee. So we need to make a spatial bee. So I want a crystalline bee. There we go. And where did it go? Ender bee. Okay. We'll do 5 more of those. Well, let's do 6. There we go. That'll get us a spatial bee. Spatial bees, I think, make us... What do they do? Spatial bees, I'm going to right-click on him here, and then I'm going to go to the beehive, and that's going to give us a spatial comb. If I right-click on that and go to the centrifuge, that'll give us Certus quartz dust. Cool. And the Certus quartz seeds. That's cool. Yeah, okay, so we want those 2. Okay, let's hook up the ME controller. And we have to connect it to power. So, where is... Come up in here. Where is this thing here? Is this connected to power at all? I don't think so. And I don't think it needs to be. I thought about putting a lot of the ME stuff up here, like run the cables and stuff. But I can also run them through the walls. So let's do this. Let's put this here, and we'll grab a point, a flux point, and we'll connect that to here. Connect it to the network. I could make a separate one, and I'm going to call this AE2 bees. Okay, we'll chunk load this. It's chunk loader downstairs, but that already has access to everything. All right, so let me show you what these cables mean. All right, so let's do the drive. Okay. Okay, that's going to be like our disk drive. That's an ME drive. And then I want the 64K storage. We'll make 2 of those. Okay. And then, let's see, applied. Let's do a crafting terminal. Okay. And let's make some bright illumination panels. Let's make 20 of those. Okay. And then, oh, I should make more of these spatial bees, right? So I'll need 5 for Um, I need 10 of their, yeah, 10. Do I have 2 in here already? Yeah. Because I'm going to be converting them into the Fluix bees. So I need 5. All right, how are we doing on crafting? Probably full. We could probably go check on stuff. See how it's going. And that's all done. Anything stuck anywhere? Oh yeah, yeah. It's being crafted somewhere. What is going on? Oh, this can't go in there because there's this. Yep. Let's pull that out. Yep. So that's part of the problem with yeah. With modular routers is that internal buffer. It's very annoying. I wish that internal buffer had more spaces. Like I wish it had like an inventory for each one of these, like, or maybe just 9 or something, like a 3x3. Or if I could put an upgrade in there to make it have more buffer space, so it wouldn't get clogged. That would be really great. Okay, now those should have crafted really quick. What are we waiting for? So we're waiting for... It's processing what? Why is it processing Certus quartz crystals? Oh, turning them into dust. So that's what this is doing over here. Oh, very slowly. Oh, that's gonna take a while. Let's... Yeah, I should have turned that into a factory. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's turn all these into factories. I'm gonna do that off camera because you don't need to see that. I suppose it wouldn't be bad to show you one, right? Let's see. The best way for me to do it is type in factory, right? And pick any of these, right? So basic factory is going to be here. So I'm just going to hit this. So I need 2 of these. Give me just a second here. There we go. Wow, that's taking forever too. Okay, everything is slow. We're gonna speed this up because this is crazy. These are waiting for these, and these are waiting for these. Wow. Okay. All right, cool. There's 2 of those. Grab this. Shoot. Minecraft being Minecraft again. All right. Let's put all this back. Okay. And you're just gonna do the first tier. Take your crusher, upgrade it. Go to the second tier, which is the red one, wherever that is, and just hit craft, right? And that's gonna need to have 2 of these. So, do I have that recipe? Yes. Let's do 2 of these. And that's gonna run these other machines over here for a little bit. This one here. So good. Oh, these need speed upgrades. I suppose it doesn't matter. They don't really need the speed upgrades. Okay. Once we get 2 of these, the advanced control circuits, we'll be able to upgrade those. There's 1. We'll be able to upgrade this to the advanced. Let's see, add mechanism. Oh, I don't have the next tier up. It's gonna be this one here. So let's make a recipe for that. The blue. We have recipes for all that except this one. We can do all of those. And then the last one. You might as well just make them all. Might as well. Because we have the resources for it. So, okay, back down here. Now we've got 2 of these. Yes. So, advanced factory. Stick this, your crusher in there. Go to the next one. And we're actually going to mechanism. Let's make 2 of these. That's going to take some time. Because this is going to break down. Well, actually, this might not be too bad. Got this enrichment factory over here. These are going to go slow. But this one's going to make our advanced ones. This one makes the dust, right? Yep. And then this one makes the reinforced. Cool. Okay, we already have 1. Oh, but I need 4 of these. I wonder if that's going to automatically create... How many does this make? Okay. That's going to craft up another diamond or 2. The smelter from this mod, like an ultimate smelting factory, is really good. But we have the obsidian furnace with the factory upgrade, which is a little bit better, I think. It works very fast on its own, automatically, without any upgrades. I don't know how much energy it takes. Quite a lot, I think. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure if there's any other way to augment it. Looks like there's 2 more. But it works fine. So we'll just leave it there for now. I think this factory might be better. But we'll see. We're going to stop at the elite once this is done, because that will be enough for us at the moment. Alright, I need 2 more. Are you working? Oh, yeah. These have got to craft, and then they can come over here. Oh, is that one done? Oh, wow. It is. Cool. How is that possible? Oh, it must have had enough. Okay, cool. Before we broke it down. There we go. Alright, so click on that. Get our elite crushing factory. Now we're going to have to reset up how this is going. So input is going to be at the top, output's going to be in the front. And then we're going to split. So this does several at a time. That is not very much energy, but we could definitely speed that up. So we'll get rid of those, turn this into energy, turn that off. There you go. So this will do 7 at a time. The ultimate one does 9 at a time, so it's even faster. So that'll do 18 FE per tick. We could definitely put some speed upgrades in here. We have the power for it. But that's good for now. So these will finish crafting these. We can head back over to the bees. Get back to our project. Because I want to teach you how to... Oh wow, that's done already. I want to teach you how to use applied energistics. Okay, so we have our... Let's get some cables. I want to show you this one. I don't want to just one. Let's do 10. Okay. And then I want to do 10 of these as well. But I'll wait for these to be crafted. A lot of waiting. A lot of waiting. We got to speed everything up. All right, we'll just take one for now. Okay. Connecting this to the network gives you access to connecting other things. So we'll put the drive here. Now you see how this cable here has a blue line on it? That's telling you that one of the channels is being used. So let's toss these in here. Those do not add to the channels, but if I were to take this crafting terminal, for example, and let's go up one and put the crafting terminal here. Now you'll see that there are 2 lines here, okay? There's only one line coming up here and one line coming over here. So this cable has 1 channel, this cable has 1 channel, and they add up to be 2 channels off of the front here. Okay, now if we were to extend, for example, this out this way, that's not adding channels, you can see. And this line has no channels. Nothing is blue here. This one's 1, this one's 1, and this is 2. What we're most interested in is what's connected to the controller. The controller can have, the limit will be here. I think it's 8 channels. I could be 16. I can't remember. I think it's 8. Now, if we were to add some of these illumination panels, okay, I made 20 of these. Let's craft 10 of these as well. Okay, here, right? That doesn't take a channel? Oh, that's beautiful. Whoever made this mod is a fantastic person. Okay, great. Now, if I were to do like an exporter or an importer, an import bus, that would take up a channel. This stuff here, this is dense. This can hold up to 32 channels. If you look at the at the top left-hand corner here, that will tell you how many channels you have and how many you can have. So if you're using dense cables, like if you want to do like a bunch of stuff off the controller, you can do that. Now, check this out. Controller. Let's make a few more of these. So let's make 19 more of these. Okay, you can actually place another controller here, like this, and make it a cube, right? So you're not going to fill the middles in or whatever, and you can increase the number of spots that you can put this down. So once that's done crafting, I'll show you what I mean. Because we can place this around here and make a cube around here and then power it all. So let's see. Yep. And then we can run cables off of kind of anywhere, and as long as they're dense cables, we have 32 channels. Now let's say that I have 32 channels going off of this one, 32 channels going off of this one, and I need another one down the middle. Well, that's where that's where the different colored ones help a lot. So I could take this dense cable, yellow, and stick it next to, let's say, a lime colored one or an orange colored one or whatever I want to do. They won't connect. I do believe, and I'll have to check, but I do believe regular one and a colored one will connect, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyway, let's go check on our bees, and let's feed these guys these Fluix pearls. So I want 5 of these. Okay. See how long that takes to craft. How are we doing on crafting? Oh, good. We're doing fine. Now that we've upgraded our factory, we're doing just fine. Just making some seeds, and these will... Oh, I don't want to mess with that. These will go very quick. I love how this is very fast. Yeah, I can't wait until we don't have to do that anymore. That's fascinating how it's doing it kind of... I'm kind of fascinated that it's not doing all of one before it does all of another. It's already done. That's cool. Alright, so now what are we doing? Oh, now we're processing these. And then notice this is not all happening simultaneously, which is kind of weird, right? I would think that these would be happening at the same time those are happening down there. But whatever. Okay, cool. So let's head back over to the bees. I should put a teleporter over here, but it's not like it's that far. And once we get the bees all set up, it's not like we're going to want to come back here either. So let's get the spatial bees. Let's grab the 5 that are all alike. That's fine. We'll get the Fluix pearls. And let's grab these here. Okay. So let's go do this in one of these smaller rooms. I'm going to put a bee down. And I'm going to feed it. Oh, these guys are tiny. This is not going to be easy. All right. Yeah, go in here. Why won't this work? Uh-oh. Fluix B says spatial Fluix pearl. Uh-oh. Can we not get Fluix B's? Fluix pearl on a spatial bee. Uh-huh. Where did he go? Oh my goodness, he's so tiny. I should have done it in one of these rooms and just closed him off. But I was clicking on him. I was trying to feed him. Here, let's close him off. In here. Here. Come here. Little guy. I'm making this harder than it needs to be. Let's just close this room off. And have him in here. That way he can't get away. Alright. Come back out. And Fluix pearl. That's what the JEI says. Why don't you want... Oh, because he's got to be an adult. Let's get him some flowers then. Flowers. Will you eat these flowers to grow? Yes. So he's a baby. Child. Yeah, so I need to make these guys... Is there a way to make them grow faster? Let's find out. I knew about this, but I totally forgot about it. Productive bees. I think there is a baby growth. Bee incubator. How do I use this thing? Can I just feed it? Can I just put... Let's find out. Let's make one and see if I can put flowers in there. Because I have flowers over in the in my home. Let's go get a bunch. If not, we can just grab them and feed them. Just take a bunch of these. And we'll just feed them. But let's make this baby bee breeder thing, the incubator. What? I don't have any wheat. I don't have any wheat. All right, we cannot do that. So, this is turning out to be a great episode. All right. So we'll just feed this guy a bunch of flowers. Okay, once he's all grown up. Grow up faster. 8, 7, 6, 5. Wow, okay, so feed him a whole stack. There he goes. Now I should be able to, there we go. Boom. I got my Fluix bee. Okay, so I have to do that a bunch of times. I have to feed these children until they become adults. And then I have to feed them the Fluix pearl. Okay, that's how you get, so the spatial bees are going to be really good for giving us like Certus quartz, quartz dust, stuff like that. And you find that out just by right-clicking on your bee, left-clicking on the beehive, right-clicking on the spatial comb, and left-clicking on the centrifuge. So that'll be nice. Because the seeds can be turned into Certus quartz. But we have a chicken making Certus quartz for us. So this kind of bypasses a couple of the processing steps, which is nice. I can actually find those, find this recipe, which I know where it is, and get rid of it. Because we'll have a bee that's producing that for us. Now that we have a Fluix bee, let's see what he produces. Fluix comb is going to be just a Fluix crystal. That's great. So then if I want Fluix dust, I can take and crush it down. So that'll be great. Okay. Now that you understand about channels, now that you understand about cables, I'm going to do some stuff off camera. I'm going to play around with how everything is set up, where I want the storage of everything, put some covers on things, and I'm just going to get all that set up. I'm going to figure out how I think what I want to do is I want to put an import bus facing the bottom of these beehives, pull everything out, just stick everything into the ME drive, and then we'll export to centrifuges. And it doesn't really matter what goes where, just that it goes into a centrifuge. The centrifuges are going to have a lot of this. I am going to export all of the wax into a trash can because I don't need that. I'm going to set up one of these to have empty bottles going into one side and take the full bottles out. So whenever I use a bottle, I'm going to just send it back in here. I may make a couple stacks of bottles, that way we have that. And then I'm always going to have this I'm just going to export constantly honeycombs into this, just regular vanilla honeycombs into a centrifuge. That way I constantly have honey, and I constantly have honey bottles, and I constantly have honey, what is that, pollen puffs or whatever they're called. I don't actually know if those come from here. I think those just come from the beehive themselves, just from here. Yeah. So I'm gonna play around with this setup until I get figure out a really good setup, because I think all I need from here is the importer, and the importer can be hidden. So I can actually take this oak log, this stripped dark oak log, and make it a panel, a cover, and put it back on top. Same here. So, and then I'm gonna put the other two bees that we have in here, the Fluix bee and the spatial bee. And we'll start processing all of that and get it going. So once I have that all figured out, next time I sit down and record some videos, I'll make that. I'll show you how that all works. But you needed that basic understanding of the channels. You needed to understand the crafting of all of those things. So I'm glad we did that. And now you understand feeding bees, the bee conversion system. Because some of these bees, like ancient bee, you need to feed it a block of netherite. So that'll start producing netherite scrap for you. Let's see. The withered bee, for example, is a skeletal bee. I haven't shown you how to do that yet. How to get one of those. And you need to feed it a wither rose. So yeah, that's gonna get you wither skulls, skeletons, whatever, and all that. So, and then the breeding, which we've done a little bit of. So I'll keep doing that on camera with you guys. We'll probably do a little bit more next time, especially once I get everything set up. But I want to get everything set up so I can kind of play with it, spend some time on it, and then I'll be back and show you how it works later. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hopefully it wasn't too much running around babbling, waiting for crafting and stuff like that. But we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.